Welcome to another week of Brew Skies Booze News. This is the very special Thanksgiving edition. I've always hated holiday editions of everything, but
We're continuing the weekly trend of downplaying the episode when the first 30 seconds of the episode. I hate holiday specials. Welcome to our holiday special.
some of them are good. Bill Murray did one of those really funny ones. We're going to aim for that one. But I'm Mike Morgan.
I'm Bret Coleman Baker, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hopefully you're not too turkeyed out already, and if you are, congrats. Good luck staying awake for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. By the time this actually airs, I will be in Kansas City, which is fine.
As we learned earlier this week, binge drinking is drinking 6 or more drinks in a single day. I hope you all have a wonderful, healthy day this day.
Is that like innuendo?
Yes, it was poor innuendo. Yes, I'm going to drink like 60 beers today.
You know, I thought we would start with this is our very first Thanksgiving special as Blue Skies Booze News. It started like before the first Thanksgiving, which is the landing of the Mayflower, the precipitating event. And there's a story that I tell in beer class because it's actual history, but it's not one that a lot of people know. It's not one that you learned in 4th grade when you heard the story of like the Mayflower, like the Pilgrims came over for religious reasons and they landed, you know, for their freedom to worship whatever bullshit they wanted to at this place called Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts. Now, if you're coming to what later became the United States and you can land anywhere you want, why would you come to a wicked cold part of the country where it's hard to survive without a good HVAC system? Mm-hmm. Here's the actual story of why that happened. They were aiming for what is today Virginia.
Slightly better weather.
A lot better weather. And, I mean, if you're trying to survive outside and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So that's where they were aiming for, but they were further off course than a Carnival cruise. And accommodations even worse than that. And the captain realizes, like, the ship, you know, comes over and it drops off these Pilgrims, and then it has to get back to England, and it's got to hang out here, you know, weather dependent a little bit for a while. So they're way off course, but they're behind schedule. And the captain looks at the rations, and his biggest concern was that they were running out of beer. They're running out of ale. And
it's a big concern.
He is like, you know, we need to have enough beer to get back to England drinking beers.
Were they binge drinking?
They may have been binge drinking. And it wasn't just pirates, you know? So, like, he realizes somewhere around about Massachusetts, headed for Virginia, we're not going to have beer. So this is close enough. Get off the fucking boat. And that is the actual true story of why the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock rather than a much more commodious environment. And then they, you know, froze and starved and whatnot.
So we have beer to thank for Thanksgiving.
We have beer to thank for Thanksgiving and the whole Pilgrim story, and probably for those stupid hats, because what sober person would wear one?
Well, speaking of unceremonial captains, I'm going to channel my inner captain and realize that I forgot to change my shirt before the filming of this episode. Yeah. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to land hard, just like on Plymouth Rock, and I'm going to change my shirt while we're going. So that was a wonderful telling.
I changed it to a fancy one because it's Thanksgiving.
I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going full slob. Oh, I stink. I've been working hard today.
No shit.
Well, you know what I'm thankful for? You get to tolerate my ass. So when you're talking about food on Thanksgiving, you got to accompany that with alcohol, right?
You do, obviously.
And you don't want to have a major gaffe of pairing the wrong thing with your turkey.
Yep.
So we have a couple guidelines for people.
We do. There's three basic, and I mean, I think generally Thanksgiving is one of those meals. Actually, if you're a family that drinks alcohol, you probably drink a lot of wine at Thanksgiving because it's big dinner, it's formal, whatever. But as with most things, and we both love wine, but wine really doesn't have the same kind of pairing potential as the beer does, because there's just a lot broader flavors of beers out there. So there are three basic kind of rules of pairing things. You want to explain that?
Yep. You have complementary, and by that we mean like orange and chocolate. They're flavors that are not the same, but they taste good together.
Yeah.
We have enhancing, which is two similar flavors that work to bring out those flavors in each other, like eating dark chocolate with some coffee. And then we have
chocolatey porter.
Or chocolatey porter, yes. Chocolate with a chocolatey porter, yeah, that's perfect. Or contrasting, which are things that shouldn't go together, but somehow they work. And the iconic one is always something spicy with an IPA. So if you have a spicy side dish out there, pair it up with an IPA. If you are having a chocolate dessert, go with a very traditional sour beer, something not fruited, but something really acidic, like a Berliner Weiss or a Goose or a Lambic, or hell, even a Flanders Red. Get a little bit of that vinegar character in there to match with the chocolate. They're going to be a slam dunk.
You're going extreme, I think, with a little bit of vinegar with the chocolate. But if you do a thing like one of the most amazing pairings, and it's really easy, but like Gadget is one of the best-selling beers that you guys make at Urban Artifact. A Gadget with a really heavy chocolate dessert. That's spectacular.
Yeah. Knockout.
Complimentary, those like milkshake IPAs are really big out there, and mostly I hate them. But if you find a milkshake IPA, what you're going to have, the properties in that are going to be fruity flavors that are coming from both the hops and the way that the hops are extracted, as well as lactose that's being added to that beer. And I have found that works brilliantly with like a basic cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that cheesecake is a big thing at Thanksgiving for most people, but it's
but
an example
if you got a cheesesteak, no, that's great. If you're thinking more savory, like your turkey, a good Pilsner is a really great complementary pairing. The Pils is light and crisp, and the turkey is a little bit heavy, especially if you got gravy on it or cranberry sauce. So the bitterness and the crispness of the Pils works perfectly with the sweet, savory character of your turkey, depending on what you're accompanying with.
You can also do a porter might be kind of a nice contrast with a turkey, sort of the blandness of the meat of a turkey.
Absolutely. One of my favorite is Great Lakes Christmas Ale with sweet potato casserole. It's almost all the same flavors. It's a perfect enhancement pairing.
Yeah.
And I love both those things.
Yeah. What are a lot of the spices that you get out of Christmas beers?
A lot of spices in Christmas beers are usually ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg. Those are the big ones.
Okay.
And then people will throw in some other stuff, maybe some orange peel here or there, cranberry sometimes, vanilla, of course. But your big ones.
That gives you a basic idea.
Yes.
Those flavors, cinnamon and nutmeg.
If you have a dish with cinnamon and nutmeg in it, pair a Christmas ale with it.
Yeah. Sure.
So those are a little bit of your basics. If you have any other questions, hit us up in the chat. We'll try to get back to you same day on Thanksgiving. I'll check in periodically. So if you're really sweating what to get for your late Thanksgiving dinner, hit us up. We'll give you a good recommendation. Mike, what are you thankful for?
Bret, I always hate that nonsense. But it is nice. It is nice to take a moment.
We could just pray instead if you want.
Fuck off. I have had almost the same conversation with multiple people that I went to high school and college with over the past year that have all included them saying some version of the phrase, "I can't believe you're still alive."
To you?
To me.
Oh my God.
I mean, not so much for the lifestyle that I live today, which is tame-ish, but for the things that I did in my youth and
The barbarism of your youth.
a lot of, yeah, which actually extended into my 40s. So first of all, I'm thankful that I'm still alive.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah.
That's a
I'm
wrap.
thankful. I'm thankful for my family, of course. My wife is incredibly tolerant, which is obvious. And
That is an important thing that I'm also thankful for.
Yeah.
Tolerant wife
Yeah.
goes a very long
yeah.
way.
Thanks, tolerant wives.
If they weren't, we'd either be more productive or divorced.
I'd just be banging a lot of different chicks. I love you, honey.
I don't know if your grandma's gonna like that response at the dinner table. So if you're looking for thanks, don't copy us. And you know, I'm thankful for our production crew.
Yeah.
No, this is not a lie. That is not a lie. They're smiling. You can't see them. They're smiling.
I am.
I'm thankful for them.
I mean, they're dicks, but yeah, absolutely.
I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for everyone at Urban Artifact. I'm thankful for beer and just having something that I can be autistically passionate about, and that also
Say
causes me.
autistically passionate. What the fuck is that?
And I'm thankful for the 6
Like,
beers
you're
I drank already today.
You're emotionally numb in your appreciation.
And I'm also thankful for this porter from Gravel Road. Dan, cheers. This is
Dan,
fantastic.
formerly of, well, he's still at Carillon Brewery in Dayton, and now his new brewery is what?
Gravel Road, full time.
Road.
Cheers. This is great. Yeah, thankful for all this stuff. So, cheers to you.
Yeah.
We're thankful for
And
you.
we're thankful for you people.
Especially you
really.
Patreon subscribers. You guys are the best.
Yeah. We love you, and we'll be over at your house soon. And right now, there's honey
I
dogs.
don't know if you can hear that noise, but something crazy is going on outside.
Yeah.
So we're going to go investigate. We'll see you all next week.
Hunting dogs have a deer in the Urban Artifact Beer Garden. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
We love you,
Thanksgiving.
people.